As far as road rage, we've seen a tremendous increase in road rage incidents. I think this year alone we've had 22 incidents of road rage where weapons have been fired and actually been discharged and people shot. We're seeing a large amount of road rage incidents where weapons are just displayed or brandished. We see that 2 or 3 times a day here in the Troop A area. And Troop A is a large amount of the road rage is the ones with weapons involved. As far as our troopers concerned in pursuits, back in late July through September, we had troopers were fired on 3 times during the pursuit. One of them was in downtown Conway area where the suspect was shooting at our trooper with an SKS rifle. Another one was an incident in a Little Rock neighborhood just not far from State Police headquarters here, where the suspect was shooting a trooper with a pistol that had a 50-round drum in the middle of the neighborhood in Little Rock.
Have there been a lot of cases of both parties in the shooting being armed and shooting back and forth, or is this mostly one-way traffic?
It's mostly one way that we've seen, as we have a criminal suspect and a victim who's gotten shot. Mm-hmm. It just seems like Pulaski or Troop area, which is composed of Pulaski County, Saline County, Lonoke County, and Faulkner County. That's where the large percent, I'd say 90% of our road rages with weapons discharged are in the Troop A area.
As far as you see it, what are some of the factors contributing to this, increase in threats on the road?
Well, Arkansas is not alone. I've talked to the other colonels around the U.S. They're seeing an increase in road rage, vehicle pursuits, and what we call aggravated driving, 100+ miles an hour. It's not exclusive to Arkansas. I mean, it's all around the country that we're seeing this. Nobody has a real silver bullet answer. It's some of it said might be stress caused by COVID, or it might be a sense of lawlessness. It's probably the most, I would say the most highest number I've seen since I've been director of the state police in 2015. I've lived in Arkansas since 1991, and it is by far the worst that I've seen since then.
So is this something that's kind of carried over from, say, 2019, 2020, or is this really spiked in 2021 for you?
Well, what we're seeing, we saw in 2019, the year before COVID, we only had 1,000 tickets for 100+ miles an hour. And in the first full year of COVID, it went up to 2,000. And the latest numbers for this year, we're going to surpass last year as far as aggravated driving is concerned. The speeds, we're getting speeds up to 150, 160 miles an hour where they did stop and we issued tickets for 160 miles an hour.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the ways that state police are trying to reduce or at least mitigate the threat from this kind of increase in aggressive driving? And
Sure, we always do selective traffic enforcement. We work saturations, but too we've also deployed what we call low-profile vehicles. They're not our traditional white vehicle with a blue stripe. It'll be a different colored vehicle, but they're equipped with blue lights and siren, and they are marked. They're marked on the right side of the vehicle only. That has been a great advantage. What we're seeing in our fatalities, I think I looked this morning, we got 544 fatalities this year already, kind of on a record pace like last year. But what we determined them to be is distracted driving. So that's why we used a new pilot program to purchase 25 Tahoes, the low-profile vehicles, to address distracted driving and to be able to try to enforce the laws more. Plus, since the cable barriers are in the interstate, traditionally the trooper was able to cross the interstate and get somebody, but now with the cable barriers we can't do that. So the low-profile vehicles help us blend in with traffic to enforce traffic laws.
And you think as well as helping with distracted driving, things like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mentioned in the hearing the other day that had one up in Troop J that the suspect car passed the trooper going 94 miles an hour, didn't realize it was a trooper, and we stopped him, and then one of the persons in the car was wanted on murder on 2 counts, and we were able to take that subject into custody.
Is this kind of in line with, you said you talked with other state agencies about this same kind of increase that they're seeing? Is this in line with what you've seen them do? Is there anything that somebody else is trying that you'd want to try in the future?
No, some of my command staff went up to a conference just a couple days ago, and we talked about our pilot project. Some of them use unmarked cars, low-profile vehicles, but I think we're the kind of an innovator on this, looking at the Tahoe, because the Tahoe gives you a better, higher platform to be able to see into a vehicle, where traditionally the Chargers is pretty low to the ground, so it's very difficult to see into a vehicle. You know, some other states are doing it, but I think we're the first one that kind of, you know, we bought 25 Tahoes strictly for that.
How would you rate your success so far, especially this year, with prosecuting some of these road rage shootings and brandishing and things like
Well,
that?
you know, with COVID, it's a slowdown in prosecution, but our criminal investigation division responds to all these road rage shootings, investigated just like any other homicide scene. We collect the evidence, do crime scene measures, do interviews of suspects, and then it's presented to the prosecutor for criminal charges.